Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm back for part 2 of the route of the Ovenden Junction Railway. So I'm in Halifax at the site of the Halifax station, and obviously Eureka is just behind me where I filmed part 1. So we had a look around the site of the old station and came across a lot of remains. So if you haven't seen that episode, please give it a watch. Now today I did point out in part 1 that the Ovenden Junction line would have branched off from around here, because you can see there's a platform. So I'm going to show you between here and towards where the Northbridge station was in part 2.
In today's video, we'll be continuing our route up the Great Northern's Ovenden Junction line. We'll be focusing on the route between Halifax station towards the Northbridge railway station, mainly focusing on the Charlestown Road viaduct. We'll be looking around the Northbridge railway station and the history of the actual North Bridge before concluding the video at Old Lane Tunnel.
You've still got the remainder of the platform. See the platform edge just here, and our line would have gone right through where this clothespin is. There would have been a slight little junction on towards a coal drops, and then our main line would have gone on towards the onto the Ovenden Junction line. So up there you've got Beacon Hill, and down there is the Beacon Hill Tunnel. That's looking at Halifax station. Got a signal box just here, and the branch to the Ovenden line. The coal drop sidings would have just been behind this bush. You can't really see much, but it would have gone right behind here. It's all overgrown now. So what we'll do is we'll go to the other side and I'll show you. You might be able to just see a little something here. So there's a little gap in this tree, and yeah, if I just walk in here, there you can see is the sidings to the coal drops. Now the coal drops are just on the other side, so what we'll do now is go to the other side and I'll show you from there the demolished viaduct which was just behind, that then led onto our focus line. I've just come to the other side of the Halifax station, and this is part of what was known as the Charlestown Viaduct, also known as Ovenden Viaduct. See the abutment here, and this would have curved all the way towards the south of the Northbridge station. So majority of the viaduct would have been between Halifax and Northbridge station. So this is the viaduct that goes in towards Beacon Hill and Beacon Hill Tunnel, going towards I think Bradford. And just look at where the abutment to the Ovenden line would have been. Now before we do go, there is something else here, which that line that what I pointed out behind those trees was actually to supply to a coal drops. Now the coal drops is actually still here. Now there is a lot of vegetation blocking it up, so I'll just get my best angle. So I'll go down here and see how much I can see of the coal drops. Here you can see the remains of the coal drops. You can see the wooden structure there that's collapsed. Now I'm unsure of how many exactly there were. Here you can see where the coal drops ended, where the viaducts would have carried on across. We'd have probably been looking at the arches of the viaduct. So we're on what we call Cripplegate. So what I need to do is walk around here, because we have found some more remnants to the viaduct. So we're looking at our viaduct spanning right around here. And now just behind these trees, you can see there are some remains of it left. You can just see here the base of the abutments that would have carried the viaduct. Well, there's not much left, and it would have been at a lot of high level. And if we just go down here, you've got a beck that runs alongside it, and I don't know the name of the beck, but I will put the name of it up once I find out on the screen. There you can see the base of the viaduct, and just slightly beyond you can see a little bit more, so I'm going to work my way around and get to where you can see more of the remains of it. So here's the remains of the viaduct, which have still got a few arches left. You can see they've been filled in, and they've got like a metal support post up, I guess you can see. I'm not sure what they're from. I wonder if they're to support the structure. So you've got 9 arches that still remain. Now this would have led you to the south side of the North Bridge railway station. So I'm just at the corner of Charlestown Road, where the viaduct would have curved round it. 35 arches. Now there is a wall here, and then just behind that wall you would have had the curve of the viaduct, which would have gone down to the south side of the goods station. Now the area of the viaduct has been secured off. It'd have hiding behind all those trees just over there. The viaduct would have just ended roughly around over there. And to the left used to be an old gasometer and a power station. So I'm just going to pop a picture up and show you what it used to look like around this area. Now the viaduct was demolished back in 1981. To the right of me, you can see the remainder of these retaining walls that head towards North Bridge. Now it is covered in ivy, but you can tell the remnants. If I just go a little bit closer, you can just see the remains of some old wall brackets. Now I'm assuming that those were used for cabling, but there's quite a lot of them that carry on down all the way towards the Old Lane Tunnel, which is slightly further up beyond the station. Now just slightly to the left, I'll show the picture, would have been some sidings towards the goods shed, which like I say was at the south side of North Bridge, and this picture will show the exact spot of where it was. Now to the left of me you've got the old Northbridge Leisure Centre, which in recent history was closed down back in around 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But that was built on the site of an old goods shed. So the picture will show the sidings going round to the goods shed. You can see that retaining wall to the right, and just in the distance there you can see what is now North Bridge. So here would have been where they'd have stored wagons for maintenance. So we're going to hit at North Bridge, and I'm going to give you a little bit of history on the North Bridge railway station. So there's that retaining wall and the site of where that goods station was. See the cooling towers and the gasometer in the background. So we're walking now under the North Bridge, which I'm going to take you up and show you and give you some history on that. But before we do go, this was the actual site of the main passenger station just to the right, just beyond the bridge. Now, that opened back on the 25th of March in 1880. Closing to passengers on the 23rd of May 1955. And totally closing in 1974. Now the passenger station site would have been right here. So you would have the main station platform around this location, because you can see the photo of the loco that's parked up here just in front of the North Bridge. And I believe station access was to the other side of the top of the stone arch there. There is a picture of a loco taken here, which I'm going to fade in. Now the North Bridge was built in the Victorian times, and there was actually an original stone bridge that went over the same spot. The original bridge had 6 arches. It was a 6-arch stone bridge, and it was raised to allow the subsequent construction of the Halifax and Ovenden Junction Railway, which we're exploring. So that opened in 1871. Now, prior to its previous predecessor, the earliest record of a wooden bridge over the River Hebble was recorded in 1277. Apparently it collapsed in April 1770. A guy named Matthew Oates began work on the new bridge in 1772 using stone from the quarries in Quib Lane. And it was 400 feet, 6 arch, and it was a height of 28.5 feet, which was above the river. It carried Turnpike Road, which was opened in 1774, and there was a toll booth at the northern end. Now, part of that bridge collapsed because of some flash flooding that happened on the 23rd of July in 1855, and it was demolished back in 1870 to then make way for this current new bridge. So just looking behind me is the site of the old goods station, which I showed you, and the old passenger station, which was just down there. So that's the A58 going up towards Keighley. We're now going to continue our route northwards towards the Old Lane Tunnel and Deanclough Mills. So here's the view of the River Hebble going under this bridge. The A58 and the North Bridge, just slightly north of the North Bridge station. Now there is still a remaining footbridge of the original station that I'm about to show you before we get to Old Lane Tunnel. So before we conclude the video at North Bridge station, I will show you this footbridge. So there is access into what was a cut in towards Old Lane Tunnel, which we're going to save for the next part. And here it is. So the only part of the passenger station that's still left is this footbridge. So again, you can see some more of those cable hangers just on the side there. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this part of the Ovenden Junction Railway around Northbridge Railway Station. Hope you all enjoyed it. Please like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, because I will be continuing this series And the next part is going to be from the Old Lane Tunnel, which is just ahead of me now. Also, we're going to be focusing on the Dean Clough Mills, which is just slightly, well, this way. Anyway, take care. See you again. Bye-bye.